And now some words from our sponsor. Flap, pustule, jowls, nugget, gurgle, smear, curd, bulbous, tender, dongle, pork, moist. Whether you're a construction worker, warehouse worker, or frankly a radio host, if you hear certain words on the job site, work can be uncomfortable. So at least get work gear that's comfortable. Timberland Pro work shirts, pants, and boots. Head to toe. Timberland Pro, not uncomfortable.
Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
Roberto Luongo.
Yeah.
Joins us in a half hour to celebrate the same damn season the Panthers have been playing for 10 years. Domonique Foxworth is in with us. Nothing says hockey like Domonique Foxworth.
Lou! Attaboy. Attaboy. Yeah. Good job.
The Miami Heat are in the playoffs in the worst way. No, that's not the way you want to do that. The way you want to do that is the way Milwaukee did that. No.
It's a terrible job by the Heat.
Oh,
You're right. It's
such a bad job.
Yep. You got to tank that game in overtime.
In overtime. It can never even get as close as overtime. You have to get Boston.
But in overtime, they actually knew, hey, if we lose this game, then we get the Celtics. They knew that, and you got to tank it.
You got to. You have to put Babbitt in and just have him shoot everything from half court.
That's not what this organization is about.
Oh, get out of here.
They're about losing in the first round of the Sixers in 6.
They only know one gear, and that gear is culture.
Right. They lose the right way? Yeah.
We don't tank.
Yeah. We do not tank. We do not fear the Sixers. In fact, what we were hoping to do was secure home court for whenever the 7 seed beats the 2.
Let me ask you a question. If they were trying to secure more ping pong balls, would you be okay with them tanking?
No. This organization knows one gear. One gear. One gear, that's all. Winning. I'm excited for this series. I know a lot of people might be shaking in their boots, but this is by far the most compelling series in that conference. By far.
Well, I will. What I'll say about this is they are absolutely the games I'd like to see. But I say that as someone who also would like to see the city of Miami advance with playoff games, and I just don't think it's very likely against this team. What are you shaking your head at me like that, Domonique?
Well, because, what you're advocating for is introducing an element into the Heat organization that you can't just pretend to have integrity from time to time. You can't just all of a sudden roll over. And
you can't be a part-time man of principle?
No. You can't. And that's
the Bucks last night were a part-time man of principle.
Let's see how many championships they win. Rings.
Yeah.
My dude just strolls in here and he's about that culture life.
That's right. Is that how you got here, Dan? By being a part-time man of, well, some people can have success being a part-time man of principle. However, most of us.
What are you talking about?
Not you, brother. Lou!
Roberto Luongo going to join us at 9:35.
How about being smart? You're a very smart man, Domonique, okay? Right. Mm-hmm. Who gives you a better percentage chance of advancing in the playoffs?
Harvard educated. He was the CFO for the NBA Players Union. He was the head of the NFL Players Union. What?
I don't know. You mix up the titles all the time. It doesn't matter. But I tell you what gives me a better chance.
What?
Culture.
All right.
My dude.
Right.
My dude. What's the point of, okay, so we advance one round because we beat up on a bad Celtics team without their best players, and we get to the second round and then we lose to Philadelphia? No. There's one team that I'm worried about in this conference. It's one that we're playing in the first round.
What's the point of going to the playoffs and losing in the first round?
Forget the second round. Forget the Sixers. We don't get past the mirror. You lose your integrity. What's the point? You wake up in the morning, you go wash your face, and you look across, and you see that man, and you're like, coward. Who wants to live like that? Not me. Not you. Not Lou.
Exactly how I want to live.
You just took a vigorous smoothie slurp out of your drink like Stephen A. on First Take. What are you trying to accomplish over here?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's Amin's birthday.
Is it?
It's an Amin? It's Amin's birthday?
Oh, let's celebrate Amin, the only expert out of about 50 to pick the Heat to win their division.
Yeah.
Everybody else picked the Wizards, and the Heat won that running away.
Yeah.
Running away in overtime. Would they have fallen to the 8th seed?
They would have fallen to the 8th seed.
So wait a minute.
It was tricky, man. Like, it was such a dangerous game.
No, but Eric and Tony said during the overtime, and definitively, they said, hey, Heat win, they're the 6th. They lose, they're the 7th. That's what they were saying. So right then, they knew. That means Eric Spoelstra knew.
Yeah, at that point. But when they were trying to win the game in regulation, you were caught in this weird in-between where you didn't know if Washington was going to come back. That's a bad Orlando team. So at one point, you just have to say, okay, we're just going to go for this. And what a message to send to that conference. Taking out the best team, quote-unquote, best team in that conference with relative ease. Relative ease.
Relative ease. Ease by them relatively in overtime. Guillermo, how was your birthday? How was your birthday yesterday?
You know how things went, Dan. You saw what Don Mattingly did. He's unprofessional. I'm just going to say it how it is. Yeah. He is unprofessional. He's letting this feud between the two of us affect his decisions on the field. It's ridiculous. He did that yesterday just to spite me.
Oh, my God.
For those of you who don't know what he did yesterday.
Did what yesterday, Guillermo?
Do you not know what he did? This is what he did. Dominique, you know what he did? Dominique saw what he did.
Say that on the front end.
Yeah, on the front end, you might want to tell people because most people aren't watching Marlins baseball with any degree of passion the way you are.
According to Andy Slater, more people are actually watching the Marlins AA affiliate than the actual Marlins in terms of drawing power.
So you might want to explain anything Marlins related. And Chris Cody feels bad because this Brinson guy, did he get any hits last night? Chris Cody.
Bust, please.
I feel terrible. I should have just kept my mouth shut.
You should feel happy. You were right about him.
No, but he gave us the scouting report on the air. 2 fastballs up. Curveball in the dirt. Boom. 0 for 24.
He exposed
He's 0
state
for
secrets.
24. Mm-hmm. We've got all his secrets.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you who don't know what Donnie Baseball did yesterday, Harlan Garcia cruising, throwing a no-hitter. First career start, by the way. He's like a reliever, but he's like our long reliever. So he pitches a lot of innings. And by the way, he was in contention for a starting spot in spring training. So enough of this. He's a bullpen guy. He can't pitch. Enough of that. I'm not even gonna entertain that today. All right, Chris Cody? So just keep it to yourself. So he takes him out after 6 great innings, 77 pitches. His whole family is there watching him. First career start. Oh, no hitter going. Got to take him out of there. Because Donnie Baseball seems to think that this is Little League and everyone needs to play in every game. Donnie T-Ball. That's his new name. Donnie T-Ball. Where everybody plays every game. And by the way, Donnie T-Ball, you seem to have misunderstood what I was saying to you the other day about Rivera and Bohr. You put in Rivera to pinch run for Bohr, not as defensive replacements for no reason late in the game, and then you take Bohr's bat out of the lineup. That's not how these things work. This guy, I don't know why he keeps taking people out in no-hitters. I don't get it. So far, by my count...
It's 3 of them, right?
No, 4. Adam Conley, Wei-Yin Chen, Dan Straley, Harlan Garcia. And that's just what I could remember. If I started looking, this guy, he didn't even steal that moment from me yesterday on my birthday. He stole that from the 6,150 people that were at that game yesterday.
Perhaps he's saving Garcia's arm for the postseason.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. What is he saving that arm for? I don't even get it. And by the way, Joey Bats is still out there. Do you know that Miguel Rojas is leading this team in home runs? That's ridiculous. Miguel Rojas is leading this team in home runs. Him and Bohr, 2 home runs each. There's home runs out there, people. We just got to sign them. Sign the home runs that are out there.
All right, you
know who would have gotten more than 6 innings yesterday also? You know who would have gotten more than 6 innings yesterday, Dan? Who? What pitcher?
R.A. Dickey.
Boom. He would have given us 7 or 8.
Listen,
7 or 8 easy.
Guillermo, why? What does he do?
He's an innings eater. He is an innings eater.
Listen to me, Guillermo.
What?
You sound like a loon for a lot of different reasons.
He's also a hit giver.
Yes, he's also that. You sound a little bit crazy.
I sound right. If you were paying attention to this team.
But I do want to ask the question of the room.
Dan, Joey Bats is still out there, and Matt Holliday.
All right.
I mean, you get those guys on the cheap right now. They got no jobs.
Why is Matt Holliday still out there? Wasn't Matt Holliday good last year? Matt Holliday for the last 3 or 4 years has been great value. Why is he available? Chris, how do you feel?
Because he's 38.
I know, but Look at the last
what
three
we have
seasons.
in our outfield right now. We have DJ who's playing the outfield like he's in a foreign country and needs a translator. He could never find the ball.
I can't do a lot worse than 0 for 24.
Right. I mean, Holiday was 231 last year with 19 homers, 64 RBIs. I mean, we'll take it.
He's 38 years old, though.
I know.
What do you? I see it if you're like a middle of the pack.
But hold on a second. The question I want to ask everybody in the room is this, because I think Guillermo brings up a good point when it comes to this team. What are they playing for? I understand Donnie Baseball is going to argue, he's a long reliever. I don't want to blow out his arm. This is the macro, not the micro. Long season. I don't want to throw him 9 innings when he's used to throwing 3 innings and jeopardize his body.
It's Donnie T-Ball. That's
okay,
a fine.
Thank you. But beyond that, what do you say to the idea of Donnie T-Ball saying, no, man, I'm going to get him out of here, and us saying, you got to give the kid, what is this season about if not giving that kid a chance to finish that game, because you don't care what he becomes in 4 years. Nobody around here cares what he becomes in 4 years.
77 pitches. It's not even like he was like at 115 or something.
But Dominique, what do you think of the philosophy of it? What are they playing for this year, if not to get the long reliever a no-hitter? Do you really think that they're playing to get that guy to be a great bullpen guy for them 7 years from now?
He's not going to be part of this plan. Like, when this thing plays out the way that they want it to play out 5-6 years from now, Harlan Garcia's not going to be on this team. But
what are you saving him for is what I'm asking. What Don Mattingly is saying to himself, 77 pitches, I got to get out of here. I got to protect him. Is he trying to save his body? Is he trying to save the team's investment? Is he a good prospect? Is he someone they believe in?
He wasn't even a long reliever last year. Last year, he literally never threw 2 innings. He never threw more than 30 pitches. Like, Billy doesn't care about his arm, but his coach is going to care about the person. I'm not going to have him throw 120 pitches.
Yeah, but the fans care about seeing a no-hitter.
And Donnie shouldn't care what the fans think. He should worry about his player.
He pitched 5 innings earlier this season.
I mean, a couple of hundred showed up, and those fans who are showing up to these games, a team 7.5 out with, 12 games in, which they're in the mix, by the way, but those fans that showed up, they deserve the right to see the guy try to get a no-hitter. They do. That's it.
There was 3 innings left in the game. It wasn't like he had 1 inning left. He was never going to get through 9. So Donnie's just like,
we'll never know that.
There's no way to know he wouldn't have gotten through that. Yep. He was cruising. 77 pitches in 6 innings is not that much.
I would argue, I get both sides of the argument, but I'm with Guillermo on this side of it, because Chris does say he probably wouldn't have gotten it. But what is this season about other than, what can they possibly give us other than, hey, maybe let us find out. Let us find out if he could have actually done it. They can't give us anything else.
I'm with you. Like, I kind of see both sides, too. Like, I would have liked to see him go another inning, but I can see where Donnie's like, I don't care about what the fans think. I'm going to protect my guy.
This season's not about you. It's about making money on this team by keeping a low payroll. It's not about you or the 6,000 fans that were there. Get out of here.
But I ask you this, as a marketing device, like, let's talk about the layers of this. There is no fan base. You had a chance in a no-hitter yesterday. People would have talked about the Marlins and a no-hitter, whether they were laughing or not. They would have talked about the product on the field in a positive way. What is Donnie Baseball's job? To save that arm, or to create interest in this baseball team that gets people? Like, what is the job?
I think probably saving that kid's arm and making sure it's a long-term investment. Not really worried about marketing.
Okay, but what is the job, Dominique? As someone who has worked in all aspects of the sport, what is his responsibility?
Well, I mean, I think you have to take into account that oftentimes coaches and teams' interests are not aligned for the long term and the short term. Coaches' interests are more short term than long term. So there is a way. While I don't believe this, I'm on Team Guillermo. There is a way to justify that he is trying to think about what's in the long-term best interest of that team. They have a whole marketing department to market. Donnie T-Ball's job is not to sell tickets.
Donnie T-Ball's all about himself. We've been talking about this for a long time.
He's just like Sister Jean.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. You're right.
Next, you're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie. This does look fun. Whee! Oh, you melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Batard.
Chris Cody, how is it that you had a sharp single off of Matt Latos and also played with the big prospect? You played with the big prospect?
No, I coached against Lewis Brinson, the center fielder that we got back. He's a 5-tool outfielder, really good player. He went 1 for 4 against our awful baseball team.
Stugotz.
Did you have your ace on the hill, or?
No, what you do is you start with the heat and you go high in the zone.
Right.
And then when the 2 strikes come, curve it.
He sits dead red with 2 strikes?
That's right.
All right.
What pitcher was it for you? Was it like your ace, or was it like a number 3 guy?
Our number 2 was our number 2.
Number 2 guy.
What's he up to now?
Nothing.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some Burton's fish and chips. With this team, no one gives a so it's root for the
International Offshore Holding Corporation.
If they don't win, no one cares. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out 27 times a game.
There are variations of this show over the last, what are we now at, 15, 16, 17 years? Stugotz, we've been doing this a long time. Is it 15 years yet?
I think it's 15 years, yeah. We're getting pretty close to 15 years.
There are a lot of different representations of this show. And some people would argue that this incarnation is the best incarnation of our show. Domonique Foxworth in with us today. We've got a lot of different voices around here, and we feel pretty good about what we're doing. But I think there are several ancillary shows that go on off air that are better than this, the best show we've ever done. Well, many of them involve just Stugotz's interactions wandering around life. But one of them, and I don't think people appreciate this, but I get a particular view of one show here that is magical, which is because Stugotz's headsets are so loud from doing this for 15 years that I can always hear the stuff in his headset better than he can hear it in his own headset, I get treated to the Billy to Stugotz show, which included these gems during the break. I'd take Joe Blanton on this team, and hey, Stugotz, Matt Garza is out there.
He said that?
He did. You can't hear anything. It's amazing.
Garza's just swimming around there waiting for someone to fish him up. So is Ubaldo Jimenez, by the way. I'd take a flyer on Ubaldo.
Listen to this. I mean, you could have a staff right now. You got Garza, Blanton, Alex Cobb. Little Cobb salad. He's an ace.
Don't forget Lackey.
Yeah. Oh, Lackey's still out there?
Yep.
The Marlins should do this. Just put together a bunch of misfits and let them go out there and play some baseball and see what happens. I'm saying it'd be fun.
Just out of curiosity, Chris, are those arms we could afford if they're in a no-hitter that we can waste, or we got to save John Lackey's 39-year-old arm too? Jesus.
So let me see if I have this straight. Stugotz doesn't want an actual baseball team. He doesn't want a team of prospects. He just wants a temporary mishmash of arbitrary unemployed players and see if they could go out there and win 70 games.
Mike Pelfrey is out there. Listen, this is what I want. Names that I recognize. I don't care if they're bad names. Just give me some names that I recognize. That's it, that I can care about, maybe. If you tell me suddenly, all of a sudden, it's Batista, Matt Holliday, and Mark Reynolds in the outfield, I'm excited.
You know what? I think I might go with Stugotz on this one. I really do. It's short-sighted, and it's not prudent in any way, but neither is what they're doing now.
Wouldn't it be fun to see Brandon Phillips running around at second base again? A-Rod at third.
You have like a tryout, right? The Cansecos will show up. You have a tryout of all these guys.
Ozzy's the only one showing up.
If A-Rod was offered a deal by the Marlins, would he step out of the booth? Do you think, Guillermo?
Wait a minute.
Just play wherever you want, A-Rod. Pitch. A-Rod want to pitch?
Wait a minute. I love this as a skit. Palmeiro looking like Tom Hanks in Castaway, dragging a bat behind him on the sidewalk over there near the ballpark, just showing up for a tryout.
You know, Canseco would sign up. I mean, this is what we have to do, man.
We've done this show about 17 times. It always ends with Tim Tebow.
Oh,
he's on the Mets, though.
Yeah, Chooch is out there still, too.
Oh, yeah.
God, Chooch behind the plate, calling some pitches for an A-Rod that's developed a knuckleball.
I'm telling you guys, if I told you right now, do you think I could? This is a good poll question at Le Batard Show. Could I draw bigger crowds than what the Marlins are presently drawing if I just did tryouts for name unemployed players and then signed 9 of them? Could I get a bigger crowd? Could I get larger curiosity crowds doing what Stugotz is saying, which is just go full P.T. Barnum? Just like, you're just trying to do the freak show.
I mean, you have to, right? Like, those names that you recognize, people will come see names that they recognize.
Oh, yeah. Miami's absolutely coming out for John Lackey and Brandon Phillips. What are you people doing?
No, but Barry Bonds, though. Barry Bonds at 50.
Yes. Palmeiro. Canseco. All these guys.
McGuire going out there taking giant hacks saying, I could do it without PEDs.
What a magical way for Palmeiro's career to come full circle, finishing it at home, clean, striking out 240 times.
Can we at least do old Marlins like Charles Johnson, Kilvio Veras, Bobby Bonilla?
I could be okay with that as well. I'm okay with anything other than this.
Wait, you're not going to be okay with Bonilla. I've seen him recently.
So we're going to do the show 18 times.
How about this? So they're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, right? And for a series against the Padres, they're wearing like the original teal uniforms. What if they just sent out the original team to play in that series?
There you go.
With Charlie Huff?
Yeah.
Charlie Huff is like 80.
Knuckleball, man.
All right, Dickie's still out there. So is Charlie Huff.
Oh, Huff's out there.
Huff's out there. So are the Niekros. Are they both still with us?
What?
I don't know.
The Who's? Watch your mouth. Don't play that.
Little too comfortable, Dano.
Yeah. I don't know who gave you the card, but I revoke it. Revoked!
Charlie Huff is 70. It's a fine.
I've always...
Phil Niekro is still with us.
What? You too?
I've always been a fan of the Niekros, including the one that cheated.
Aqua?
Which one is that?
He fell out of character.
Joe Niekro is no longer with us.
Joe is no longer with us?
I always thought Joe would last longer. I did. That's a fine, too. Big one. You killed someone.
No, wait a minute. I asked, are we going to really do Who's on First with Niekros? Can we do that?
You say it one more time.
Can we?
I got to go home and see my family and friends, and they're going to listen to this and say, you let it slide.
Mike, I want to figure out a Who's on First routine that involves Joe and Phil Niekro.
What? I said don't say it again, Dad. Joe and Phil, N-word, is where we're going from here on out.
Wait a minute, knuckleballers Joe and Phil N-word?
You're right.
Oh, wow.
There you go, Dano. We working on this bit, or what are we doing?
So when that music is played, I have to go to the magic crate of content. It is here for everybody. Domonique Foxworth in with us. Roberto Luongo going to join us in 7 minutes.
Why?
If you could have 50 pounds of anything other than money, what would you want? I mean, I got to go gold there, no?
I'm sure they're more valuable substances than gold.
You think so? Like by weight?
I would guess.
Oh, wait a minute. I guess you need it to be more valuable in light. You need it to be valuable in light.
Weed.
50 pounds of weed is what you would want, which you can then turn into money. 50 pounds of what could you then, 50 pounds of what could you then turn into the most money?
I mean, if you're going to go drugs, I feel like you could, again, find something a little more valuable than weed. If we're going to go in this game, Stu, let's go in.
Right. So 50 pounds of cocaine would be worth more than 50 pounds of marijuana.
It always has to maintain 50 pounds?
I wasn't planning on selling it.
What about like a 50-pound giraffe or a 50-pound elephant? That would be adorable.
That would be cute. Like that DirecTV commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Rhodium is the most precious metal.
There you go.
What does it weigh? What does rhodium weigh per pound?
Well, yeah.
Hold on. What is it value? What is it value
weigh
per
50 pounds.
What is its value per pound? Thank you. Man, you guys wouldn't let me even correct it before you both snatched in there like buzzards. Give me a second, man.
That was because earlier you said you got to find something lighter, which I let slide. Because I said it's something more valuable. You said, no, we got to find something lighter. No matter what, it's going to equal 50 pounds.
Yes, it's going to equal 50 pounds. But if you have 2 gold bricks and you have something that weighs an ounce that somehow has a value of more than the gold bricks, then now you have 50 pounds of something that's more valuable.
You, sir, when you put those glasses on, genius.
I mean, that's what I was doing, though.
Which weighs more, though, 50 pounds of bricks or 50 pounds of feathers?
That's not what I was saying. You guys misunderstood what I was saying. I was asking about the value of bricks versus the value of feathers. Bricks, if I...
Wow, in 2010, rhodium was trading at $10,000 per ounce.
Wow. I got a rhodium chain.
I got bad news. Alex Cobb is signed with the Orioles.
Oh, no.
Don Batard.
Where can we hurt Derek Jeter the most?
Why do you want to
right in his wallet. Listen, Dan, I'm obviously very fair. I'm telling you the way things are.
Stugotz.
Hold on. I love this new character of Chris Cody as confused moral conscience in the back of the room. Why do you want to hurt Derek Jeter?
He hurt me. I'm going to hurt him back, and I'm going to hurt him in the pocketbook.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
So, Mike Ryan, I don't know what the hell happened at the end of this season, because Mike Ryan had me convinced, and it was based on nothing more than smoke, mirrors, and enthusiasm, that this Panther season was going to be different for some reason. I kept looking up at him, and I didn't have any knowledge. I'm totally ignorant. Don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm like, why would this season be any different than any of the other Panther seasons that ended 5 points out of the final playoff spot?
Because this season, they were only 1 point out of the final playoff spot.
I think they had their third best season ever.
I think they did.
In franchise history. 96 points, right?
Yeah, 96.
That gets you into the playoffs every time.
Yep.
They did what they had to do down the stretch. I guess it all comes down to that overtime loss to Ottawa, which is why you didn't make it. I'm sure there were several moments along the season that you wish you could have back. But the teams you were chasing were so good, and one of them just lost 7-0 to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Can you help me understand this, though, Mike? Luongo's going to be on with us here. 15 minutes is how long this segment has in it. I think it'd be funny, because I don't have a lot to talk to Roberto Luongo about. I think it'd be funny if the occasional question was asked by, with no explanation whatsoever, death metal hockey guy, surfer guy, far away from the mic.
Yep.
All of your, or whatever characters you have that you want to ask Roberto Luongo questions with, I would like to do that. But let's welcome Roberto Luongo the way that a hero should always be welcomed in this market here. He is Parkland's own, right? The pride of Parkland, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. I did not.
Born and raised.
Yeah,
Born and raised.
Yeah. Technically, I'm the pride of Parkland, but I'll give it to Lou for a day.
Okay, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Who's the pride of Parkland, Roberto Luongo or Stugotz? Who are the other people?
Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah.
Who else? Who are some of the
Rizzo,
people?
yeah.
Oh, Rizzo too. So if it's a battle royale, who wins it, Luongo? All of the prides and the princes of Parkland. Who wins it?
I think Stugotz might have just out by a nose here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, Stugotz. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And he's right.
So Mike just offered me some good perspective, because I'm sitting here saying, why was this Panther season any different than any of the other Panther seasons? And Mike's saying, no, they were legitimately good this year. And they got totally hosed by being good a year that everyone else was just a little bit better.
Yeah, it was tough, man. We finished with 96 points, which usually gets you in, and I think it's only the second time in the last 20 years that a team that's got 96 points hasn't gotten in. So it's tough, man. We had a good second half. We just fell a bit short, so it's disappointing to watch the playoffs start last one on TV and not be part of it.
Can we play a Jaromir Jagr story for Roberto Luongo? Vincent Trocheck told us this story about Jagr, and I'd like to get a story from Luongo on this, but let's play it first because Jagr, there was a woman who was sort of extorting Jagr, and Jagr, when he should have felt shame, I guess, he was like, yeah, not so much shame. So this is what Trocheck had to say. Jagr loved an extortion attempt. I
thought it was hilarious.
So what did you guys say to him? Like, what does one say to Jaromir Jagr in that circumstance?
Whenever it first came out, we didn't think it was real. We thought like someone maybe photoshopped it or something. So like, Yogs, what are you doing with this girl here? He's like, what do you mean? What am I doing? And we're like, do you got to pay her or what? What's going on? He's like, no, what do you mean am I going to pay her? He's like, she wants to put out a picture. Go ahead and put out a picture. I look good.
I look good. A picture in bed with a woman. When all of this arrived at your locker, Roberto, what were you thinking?
Well, yeah, I was kind of like George. I wasn't quite sure what was going on, but he was kind of happy that the picture was out. It seemed like that he could brag about it more than anything.
So wait a minute. Have you ever seen an extortion attempt go that wrong for somebody where Jaromir Jagr turns it around and not only will I not give you money, I would have paid you to put it out for me.
Yeah, exactly. I think he ended up getting paid in all of it after us. He ended up paying him, I think.
Do you have a story from one of those years with him, a Jagr story that sort of makes you laugh because he wasn't built like any of the rest of you?
Yeah, he was different. I mean, he I don't have a juicy story like that, obviously, but he'd always walk around with weights around, like a weighted vest, weighted ankle weights. He had weights on his skates. For practice, sometimes I felt like he still wore them in a game, that he was a little bit slow. But he was always like, for some reason, like had weighted stuff on him, so that when he played, he felt like he was lighter when he took it off. But
wouldn't he do that? Like, wouldn't he just show up at the rink, like in his deep 40s? Wouldn't he just show up at the rink at midnight and go do that? What you're talking about, skate around with weights? Yeah,
of course. He would practice at night by himself all the time. So. Like around 10 o'clock, he'd just show up at the rink and then put the skates on. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
But what's happening there? That's a loon. You guys, I understand that he's a legend, but that sounds like a crazy person. Loon!
Yeah, usually at that time I'm on top in the bag, like asleep and dreaming. But this guy's out there working out at that time, so that's why he plays on those 45. So. I don't know, man. I can't describe it. It's tough to describe. You just have to be there to see it. It's what legends are made of. I mean, that guy was definitely a legend.
You're a big poker player, Roberto. What are the poker games like on the team playing? You got a good story for us?
Yeah. Do you have how competitive do those get?
They're all right. I mean, we don't play poker on the plane. We play other card games. But, my poker days, guys, are pretty much done. I got to be honest with you. I haven't played that much in the last couple of years. After I went to Vegas for a couple of the World Series, which was awesome, and I got traded back to Florida, we can't really play online in the States anymore, so I kind of lost a little bit of passion for it. So that's all right. I take money off the guys in other card games. It's all good.
Roberto, I can't believe what's happened here because we've seen your career blossom. You were a kid when you started here. How the hell did it happen that you are now a suburban dad? Like, you've sworn off poker. You're going to keep playing forever, but you're going to do so driving a minivan to the stadium filled with, suburban dad things.
I know. It's crazy, right? It's kind of, I'm trying to sell my car now and get into a minivan, but I haven't found anything I like right now. But
what happened is what I'm asking.
What do you mean? Kids happen, marriage happen.
But I'm saying he's still an athlete. He's still playing hockey at a very high level.
I mean, listen, he's right, Roberto. He's right because I live right down the street from you.
You
man.
shouldn't be neighbors with Stugotz and just like run into each other in the street. That shouldn't happen.
And by the way, I park my golf cart right outside your home. Sometimes I'm just waiting for you to come out and so we can go out and play 9 holes. That's what I do. I park right out there.
Do you? All right, come ring the doorbell. I'll come out.
Okay,
Yes!
This is gross. No,
What do you mean?
No, because he's
Run
gross
over
suburban. He's gross suburban dad. Do we have any more questions before we get rid of Roberto Luongo here? Hold on a second. Any more questions?
I got a question, dude. Sup, Lou? Huge fan. Supported you all season. At no point did my confidence ever waver in you, dude. Never said anything about Reimer. Anywho, I was wondering if you are indeed coming back next season. You're getting up there, but I know you're signed for a while.
Oh, yeah, I'll be back. I mean, I still got about 12 years left on my deal, so I'll be back.
12 years? 12 years. You're gonna, I mean, yeah, you basically had 12 years. All right, so is there anyone else back there that might have any questions for Roberto Luongo, local legend, international legend, and Florida Panthers Parkland suburban dad?
Hey, Roberto, it is me, Death Metal Hockey Guy. Also a huge supporter of you. Never wavered. Never said anything about Optimus Prime. Anywho, was wondering, why did we let all those guys go to Vegas?
Yeah, well, I ask the same question myself every day, so that's a question that somebody else got after. It's not me.
Thank you very much.
All right.
We're sorry, man.
Oh, no, not sorry. Roberto Luongo understands what's happening here. He's a hockey legend, and he's a Parkland suburban dad, and hopefully he listens to our show occasionally, so some of this isn't too incredibly strange for him.
And he's my golf partner.
And he's your neighbor.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in our audience of weird hockey fans who want to interview Roberto Luongo? Are there any other questions from the crowd of Peanut Gallery back there?
Hey, Luongo, it's DJ Khaled. What are your thoughts on Reimer? You going to start next year, or is he another one?
I hope I'm going to start. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Hey, Lou, it's me, Aziz. Don't you think more sports should have sirens?
More sports should have sirens and horns.
Yeah.
It's so true,
Yeah.
right? Is there a better sound in hockey, Roberto? Well, wait a minute. It might be for his nightmares, though.
When he hears them and sees them, it's because someone
wait a
scored
minute.
on
How
him.
do you feel about the horn? Because I've always thought it's the greatest thing, but maybe it isn't for you.
What is that? I missed the question.
The horn, the sound of the horns, the goals.
Yeah.
That is one of the greatest sounds in sports. But is it for you?
Nah, I don't like it. Especially when it's the worst one is in Columbus. When they score in Columbus, there's a cannon that shoots out like right in your eardrum, pretty much. Like, I don't know. It's like as a goaltender, it's not your favorite sound to hear.
Wow, that's a funny thing. I had never thought of it from that perspective, though. The idea that one place would make your shame louder than others. Like, that you're sitting there, they've scored, everyone's happy. Hey, look who failed. It's Lou.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it gives me the cold sweats when I hear that. So
You need to add that into all workplaces. I think all workplaces should be more like sports, where if you mess up, we just have a horn go off and sirens to let everybody know.
Right? Right. If you mess up, instead of your boss calling you out, let's do it the way we do it to Luongo. It's like, yeah.
Cannons and everything. So I feel a little bad because as a suburban dad, myself, you don't get much free time. And we've taken a lot of Lou's free time with weird impersonation asking questions.
But how do you feel when you're hearing the horn in your building, Roberto? Like, do you have empathy for the other goalie, or is that a great sound? Do you love the horn, the sound of the
empathy, man? He's playing sports.
yeah, I mean, of course, when you're home, it feels nice, but most of the time we're on the road. So, you know what I'm saying? It's tough to get rid of. You know, it's like when you were a child and you have some bad memories, and every time something happens, it always brings it back. So it's kind of the same thing here. Even though you're home and we score, it brings you back to some bad memories. So I'm going to make a petition to get rid of the horn for next year.
I'll sign it.
Wow, it sounds like you've got some, PTSD. There's some post-traumatic stress disorder. I brought up a really sore subject.
Yeah, maybe we'll play some orchestra music when we score or something.
Okay, yeah, something nicer, something more soothing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry we were so mean all these years, playing that horn every time a goal was scored. Roberto, thank you. We really did enjoy the last part of your season.
2:20 tea time tomorrow. See you.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
Right.
Thank you. So, Dominique, you think we were wasting his time? I felt like he was kind of in on the joke, but I might have been misreading the situation.
Oh, yeah, you're misreading that. Lou's voice was quite clear. He was done with us. He was being kind.
Is that what was happening there? What do you guys, did I totally misread that situation?
I felt like we were enjoying that a little more than he was.
No doubt.
Which is fine.
No, his first or second day off from a long season, he wanted to hear Chris Cody's DJ Khaled impression of me pretending to be Aziz Ansari.
Okay, fair enough.
Great, man.
Fair enough. My judgment was bad there. But
No. Your allegiance is to the audience. I guarantee they loved it, but did Lou like it?
I don't know if the audience loved it or not. That's what I'm sort of asking you. My allegiance is to the audience, but I didn't think that we were just entertaining ourselves more than we were entertaining more Luongo or the audience.
Maybe he thought the interview went a little long.
Stugotz spent the entire both impersonations by Mike, and I for some reason had in my head somewhere that there was a third hockey character that
Just
you had.
two.
I know. I didn't realize there were just two.
I will say this: death metal hockey guy might be the best character we have. I'm not even joking. I laugh out loud every single time, man.
I've actually been workshopping another one. If you want to hear it.
Wait, but hold on. I want to analyze this part of it for a second, though, because I don't know how Luongo felt about any of that, but I don't know what else to ask him to make him entertaining to an audience that may or may not care about hockey or may not care about the Panthers, while also trying to be respectful to a local team that had a nice season.
We tried all the tricks, right? We went to poker, we went to Yager. You're right. Like that was the way to do it.
It was also a very solid interview before we started doing that nonsense.
But I just
But you guys made it memorable, I think.
Yes, but I also misread the room, though. It's what I'm telling you. I thought he was with us on the joke. I thought he was playing along.
Oh, he gave Death Metal Hockey Guy a great answer too, by the way.
Right.
A very honest answer.
But as is often the case with me, I went 2 impersonations too long. I took the joke 2 beats too long.
DJ Khaled asked the toughest question. It was a very hard-hitting question.
Right.
Maybe that's when we started to lose him.
That's where we started to lose him. You got to be delicate with those things. DJ Khaled's no good at subtlety.
I actually think that's an opening we have there because it's tough to ask the hard questions. Maybe if you bring in a wacky character from here on out,
I like that.
to ask the tough questions.
I like that.
You can get away with it.
Yes.
Can you imagine if that? Well, let's start doing the interviews that way. I'm afraid to ask a certain question, and then DJ Khaled asks the question that no one else is willing to ask of Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
He's in the corner like Ric Flair about to get punched. Oh, God, no. Please, no. Please, no.
Yes.
Did we break news? Did Surfer Hockey Guy break news that he's coming back? Because I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere. He said it?
Yeah.
Ah, damn. Did someone heard it?
Is there a third?
We don't want to make these characters credible, man. What are you doing?
Is there a third? Really, you want that reported by whatever is like the newspaper in Canada? According to Death Metal Hockey Guy in South Florida. According to a guy who sounded like a surfer far away from a microphone, Roberto Luongo is returning for a 20th season.
Can you imagine? You guys really need to start doing this. Can you imagine that you get some sort of news breaking and then everyone's playing the clip around the country?
I'm still waiting for Guillermo's fake Stugotz to take off somewhere. I'm still waiting for that to be an Ali G spoof. But give me the hockey character that you've been workshopping.
Yeah, workshopping this one. It's totally different. So bear with me. I need to get in position. Okay, guys.
All right.
What's up, dude?
Oh, wait.
It's Surfer Hockey Dude that stands even further away from
Oh, you are further away, yeah. Yeah.
Worked hard on that one. Huh?
I would have liked to have heard that one when I was looking for a third character for Luongo.